Welcome to part 4 of the bias tape cutting board series. In the beginning of our videos, we started out with the goal of making 1/2 inch bias tape. If you'll remember in video 1 and 2, we used the larger bias tape cutting board to make 25 feet of bias tape 2 inches wide. Then in part 3, we used the smaller bias tape cutting board to make 13 feet of bias tape 2 inches wide. Now today, we're going to move on to using bias tape makers. These are some of the more manual type ones. And then we're going to move on to something a little more automated on the Simplicity bias tape maker. So let me get the ironing board and let's get going. Okay. Here we are at our ironing board. We've got our bias tape makers here. We're going to use this 1 inch size here on our 2 inch wide piece of bias tape. I'm going to go ahead and cut this because this is very, very long and we don't have that much time. So I'm going to cut this right about here. All right. Then we're going to just work with this little piece just to show you how to use this. All right, we're going to move these. We're going to use this piece here. You can see it's flat on the bottom, and you can see there's a little slit right in the top here. What we do is we take this, we turn it over, all right? Then this tip, you remember in the previous videos, I told you to cut a tip like this when we got started. You don't really have to do it then. You can do it now. Same thing, just makes it easier when you're doing your whole process. So then we just feed this in here, wrong side up, and then we just take our little pin and feed it down, if you can see that. You can see what we're doing here. But you'll notice that I've pushed this down and now it's starting to come out the top or the end. So here we start to pull, and you'll see that it's forming what we want. All right. Now what I usually do is I take my iron right about here, press that down just a little bit. You know, the first couple of inches is not going to be perfect, but we'll get it flat a little bit. Then what I do is I take it down here so you can see more of it. I take a pin, put it right through there. See that pin? Put it right through there. That way, when I'm pulling on it, it doesn't move, it doesn't shift down. All right, so now all we got to do is come back here, start with our iron again, put it right down, and what I do is I get it rather close and just pull the bias tape maker along, and it's ironing it right after. Straighten it out a little bit. You see there? It's forming it very nicely. And then we just move along here, iron it down. It's folding and ironing for us. All right. Now, we've got it folded and ironed to this point now. Now all we do, I take out my pin. And I want to do the final fold. I just fold it over. Fold it over like a taco. Just like that. Then I take my iron, get it folded down there. You see I've got a little crease in it. But let's see. As we move along, we can get it ironed out. right. And there we have it, ready to use. Ironed. Some people iron it. Some people leave it unironed that second time before they use it. Around here, we iron it. There you go. Okay, now let's try the Simplicity Bias Tape Maker. It's a little more automated. You may remember that we made this amount of bias tape out of a fat quarter. So instead of running the entire thing through, because it's kind of long, we're just going to cut off a piece a little shorter just to show you how it works. We're going to use these excellent scissors. Of course, my wife has written fabric on the scissors, so she well knows that I'll use almost any scissors to cut a box or something. But she's made it clear, only use this on fabric. And it works quite well. All right. Now, you'll recognize this. We used the manual one earlier. This is the Bias Tape Maker tool. I usually keep a little pin in here. And we're just going to do this. And well, let's put this back for a second. Start to feed this in through the top, if you can see that. And then I see there through the little slit that we just take the fabric and start pulling it down so we can pull it out the tip. All right, you can see that it's already forming the proper shape that we need. Now, just pull it out a little bit, put it back in this slot, snap it down like that. Now right here is a little bar that you put in, and you're gonna route this fabric over the top. Take that little rubber piece there, kind of make it so it's going to guide in. Now, many people use this tube-shaped item, and you can wind all of this material right on here, and then put it in here, and it'll spin off, which is a great idea. I never use it. I just actually, to be honest, I just put it off the table or put it down here so that it comes through just fine. Now, when you first start this up, you turn it on, select the kind of fabric you're using. I'm on cotton linen. Of course, you have acrylic, nylon silk, terylene, and wool. So I've got it on the highest setting there. You wait a bit and the green light will come on and you're ready to go. So this part pulls up and it's hot. Be careful. This whole thing is hot. This is your ironing plate, so to speak. So now we just take it, we pull it across here. This is a roller under here. There's a corresponding one here as well, and the other side of the plate, as you can see. Then we're going to just put it down like this. It just sits right in there. Then we're going to hit this run button, and it's going to start to pull it through. Normally, you can just hold this down to give it a little pressure to pull through. Let's see how it goes. So there you go. Now, we can see here that it's making our nice folds for us. And in my opinion, we're halfway done. So, one thing I do when I have real long pieces to work with, and I don't want to hold this down the whole time, I have a little candle right here that I actually set on top. Now, I'm sure it's not in the manual, so if you want to do something like that, that's up to you. And also, sometimes when we're going through, there'll be a little bit thicker spots due to our seams being on here. You may have to give it a little help to pull it through a little bit. Just gently, not hard, just gently. So let's keep going here, see what happens. I put on my candle there. Here it comes. It's coming on out. We're going to get to this point, and on this material, it seems to pull it on through. Sometimes, like I said, You got to give it a little help. And that's okay. So out it comes. Hit run to stop. Now if you walk away and you've left this on, excuse me, it will time out and turn off the heating element. And if you come back to it and you want to kind of start it up again, you just hit reset iron and it'll start heating up again. And when the red light's on, you'll be ready to go. So now let's take a look at this. All right. You see it's done a great job at ironing it. Now, what I want to do is take it to the next step, which I don't really see in videos very much. But what I do is I fold this over like that. It's kind of like the finished product that I'd like to have. Fold it over kind of like a taco. I take this, excuse me. I lay it down here. Then I kind of position this like that. Ooh, that's warm. All right. Then I put my candle back on here. Then I kind of form my fingers so that, like I said, like a taco, I kind of shape it like that. If you can see that. But I kind of get it so it's folded over there. Now I'm going to hit run and I just feed it on through again. Now I don't know if this machine is designed to do exactly this, but all I know is in the end, it works. Turn that off, turn this off, take this off, and here we go. We've got ourselves some finished binding ready to go. So, what do we do with our binding when we've got it all complete? Now, of course, it would be a lot longer than this. Very simply, I just take a piece of cardboard, just like this, from a box or, a piece of cardboard. Pretty simple. Then I just take it. This is just to store it until it's ready to be used. I just take it on this board like this and start to spin it around. Spin it around, spin it around. Like I said, it's going to be a lot longer than this. Get to the end, grab a pin, pin it, and you're ready to go. Well, thank you for watching. I sure hope you've learned something new. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel with your friends. Also, don't forget that little bell for notifications on new videos. For more information about the bias tape cutting board, please go to biastapecuttingboard.com or bias TCB. Thank you so much, and let's make bias tape the easy way.